So let's talk about like what made you decide to join the Navy. How's your experience been? What are some of the things that you're going to take away as you get ready to transition to the next journey?
So, I always wanted to serve growing up. Some of the biggest impacts for me were my dad and grandfather on my mom's side served, but then the biggest impact I'd say would be my grandfather, my dad's side, was a Holocaust survivor. And seeing the pictures of him being liberated and the forces that did that, and hearing his stories as a kid growing up made me want to. And plus, like being in sports and whatnot, I always had a need to be a part of something bigger. Where, you know, as a kid, it's, you know, baseball, football, basketball. But then as you grow up, it becomes, you know, bigger than sports. Went to college, pursued an engineering degree, had a couple of internships, and just I landed my dream internship, and I got there and I hated every minute of it. I was working on cool stuff, high tech stuff, but I was staring at the clock, working with people who were staring at the clock right next to me, and there was no camaraderie. So after that, I knew I needed to look into military programs, and commissioned through OCS to become a nuclear surface warfare officer. So I was working on aircraft carriers as a nuclear engineer. And then
That's not cool at all. I mean, like, I just love how he's like, yeah, I was just on a boat, like the nuclear stuff. That's what I do. It's all good. Like every day.
It's amazing what $20 will do.
You know, a good friend of ours, Jay Johnson, was here earlier, and I said, don't ever trust me with the lawn codes. He's like, I definitely wouldn't. I would not be the person to handle I'm too irresponsible. I'm sorry. That's pretty cool.
It paid the bills.
Right.
High highs, low lows. But I think it's the smartest thing I ever did. Really found out who I was as a man.
And who are you as a man? Like, what did you learn about yourself in your time?
I learned how I handle stress. I learned how I handle people. I learned how to take care of people. I learned how not to take care of people. It's funny. My job title is a nuclear surface warfare officer, but I swear I spent more time as a therapist than doing, you know, because at its peak, I was in charge of a division of 70, right?
Wow.
And I was 24, 25 years old, right? And I'm getting asked for advice on all this life stuff that I haven't even been through, you know. 24, 25 years old, you're pretty young, married, no kids, and I'm helping people go through like divorces and custody battles. Meanwhile, we're in the middle of the North Arabian Sea or the Gulf, and we're launching jets, responding to whatever we're responding to out in Afghanistan. But I'm dealing with all these personnel issues, trying to make sure my guys' heads on straight, and they're, you know, all right between the ears, so we can, you know, execute the mission. And so you learn a lot about that when, I mean, you get your qualification, but nobody's qualified to handle this kind of stuff. You should step up, right? And you have to figure it out. And sometimes you give better or worse advice, and you learn so much along the way just from the people you work who technically work for you, right? But I'd always tell my folks that you may report to me, but I work for you, right? And because of that, you know, I had a really good rapport, and we had some success on deployment and within our division. And I learned how to take care of other people and putting other people first. And my success as an officer was built on the success of my people, right? And I don't learn that at that age unless I'm thrown into the fire like the Navy does, right? And then on an entrepreneurial sense, there's 3 things that I think are required. And I stole this from a Malcolm Gladwell book, but I'm claiming it as my own now. That you need for a rewarding or a meaningful life, and it's human connections, challenging environment, and autonomy. And the military does an outstanding job of the first two and provides zero effort in helping out with the third, right? And so a lot of my decision in coming down to like whether or not I wanted to make the military a career or not, I was able to finally come to terms with when I was able to frame it in that light, because the military will only ever be able to provide for those first two buckets. And so this is where real estate and entrepreneurship come in, right? Because I mean, I have a good problem to have where I have an education, a good background in the nuclear engineering field with leadership experience through the Navy. But if I get out of the military and end up doing that, I'll just be trading a, high paid, high time consuming, high stress job for another that provides human connections, challenging environment, and still no autonomy. Right. So, and you don't really realize the importance of autonomy until it's stripped away. Right. But also you realize the importance of, at least for me, the importance of human connections and being in a field where I can work with a team, I can work and help people, I can lead people, and also be led, right? Everybody's a leader and a follower in their own circles. And the ones who fail to see that usually, I don't like hanging around, right? Even, CEOs of massive companies and people you look up to, they look up to people too. And if they don't, then I wouldn't personally look up to them anymore.
Okay.
Right. Because it shows that they're not looking to grow themselves, right? They're satisfied, right? And people that I'm trying to surround myself with are never satisfied. And it's not about never being, it's not about never being satisfied, because you have to enjoy the process, right? But if success is not a location, it's the road.
If you enjoyed what you saw, like, share, comment, and forward to someone that this will bring value to. Thank you so much for all the support. We appreciate it.